shifting to another software today, which is known as GIS. Now, if you open this, if you are on a Windows machine and if you're not using OSGeo Live, you could just and if you have installed OSGeo for Windows, so all that you need to do is type GIS, and you're going to get your GIS software open to you. GIS is an exceptional software. I would say it's by far one of the best GIS utilities out there that you could really use. But when you are working on a computer, you would working on it for the first time, you're going to find this software as extremely difficult. And I mean, to start with, the new GIS software looks a little less intimidating. It is very conveniently like any GIS software that you have previously used would look like. If you have been using GIS softwares before, like if you see it looks like QGIS, there's a world map here. There is this workspaces. Now in these software, however, I would say that there is something very interesting. So when I talk about GIS, there is a way that it stores information in. And what's that way? What it does is in GIS, we have a different way of storing information. It doesn't store it in directories like other software do. What it does is it creates workspaces. And these workspaces are stored. So initially what you have is you have your computer. On your computer, it's going to create locations. In those locations, there are going to be workspaces. In those workspaces, you will have your maps. Maps can be vectors, rasters, 3D vectors, 3D rasters. And I believe that one thing that GIS really has an edge with as compared to other GIS software is that it is a very structured or well-organized software. It offers you a very good organization of your GIS data by the virtue of the way this software is designed. This was how it looked like on my Windows computer. And then they have this map management. There's these maps on the left. So there's this folder that it needs. Obviously, there's a folder that it will have to work with. And in that, it will have these locations. And in these locations, it will have these map sets. So these are like the workspaces that we are working in. And in that, we have these vectors or raster maps. So if I'm working in a class directory, what I could do is, for starting, I could just create a new grass location. And this offers a very interesting function as well. It offers you to download sample data sets. So what you could do is you could actually go onto the grass software and you can download their sample data sets from their website. So if you go to their websites and you type GIS sample data, what you're going to get is you're going to actually find sample data sets here. So you can actually directly download it if you were planning to work with LiDAR data, climate data, time series data, 3D maps, or anything of their historical data sets. So they have these historical data sets like North Carolina data sets, Spearfish data set. You could download it from here, or you could just click here and download it from here. So I mean, I could probably, for that matter, download it, basic North Carolina location, and I can click continue. So what it would do is it would download the basic North Carolina datasets onto my computer. And that's something of a very, in my opinion, useful function that it has. I mean, there is this particularly requirement of people learning a software of data and they don't know how to start with it. So what it does is it automatically downloads this location for you, which has everything organized in it. And you get to understand this otherwise complex structure that I had put in here. So that's one thing that it is very efficiently doing. I'll just wait for it to download. So the download is complete. I can just close this window now. And I have this basic location enabled. I can just reload these maps, and these are my maps here. And if you see, there is this map set, which is the workspace, and then I have this file, which has these squares in it. These are the rasters or the image file. I can double click on it, and it will ask me if I would like to switch to this one now. And this is easy. I mean, this is data pre-organized for me. I don't have to worry about which folder to put it in. And that's something that's very peculiarly unique about GIS. Many people do not use it. Many people find it very difficult to start with. Many people find it very intimidating and do not explore it at all. But if you see, I click here and will start doing it all for me, all together. I just have to click on a map and there you go. And I would say that from that point of view, it's a very, very useful software. And these files, if I would like to go into my documents and graphs data folder, I probably are not, so it is in C, users, NCGIS, documents, graphs data folder. And I have these folders, yes, but I won't be able to actually understand any of this if I'm a new user. So I'll go into one of the folders and I'll see that there are things, but they are not readable for me very easily. They're not like the regular files that I use. So what it does is it actually has its own data management approach, which is very good for helping GIS users organize themselves. Uh, when you're working with teams, you can actually create map sets for different teams. So you have this map set for team one, and then you can create maybe another map set for a different team. So I can switch to that map set as well if I want to. But if I have like 5 map sets, and if I would like to maybe have 5 team members working on different map sets for the same location, I could manage my work more easily. And like you saw in QGIS, when I was trying to create my new files, I had to look for a folder and place it somewhere. It was not very easy a task for me to do. I had to run around like, on my computer and try to find out a place and put it. And even then it's not organized. So GRASS does this immense job of organizing your data for you, your GIS data for you. And that is one reason that I have always liked GRASS GIS more than other software, GIS software. The sense of organization that it offers, no other software does. It was very difficult to work with initially. Now it has become very easy to work with. So if we now look at the features that GRASS GIS has, this is this data window. So this is where your data is stored. You can add more data. You can create new data. You can create a new location. You can create a new download location. You can create a new map set if you want. So if, like, say, for that matter, I'll select this one. And if I have a user two who would be working as a part of my team, so I can say user two and I will add it. And now I have a user two added. Now, if I give access to my system to that particular user, he can then work on it on remotely on the same system, on the same server. And that can be, in my opinion, useful. I could create or import a vector. I could actually select another import option. So, I mean, you can actually unpack GRAS GIS datasets, and you can pack a GRAS GIS dataset as well. So what you could do is, and you can actually link external data as well. So this is some of the good things that it does. Now the layers function, much like QGIS, there is a layers function at the bottom where I can actually select and unselect the layers that I wanted. So that's a good thing as well. Then I have these tools on the right. So if you want to import or export data, you have these tools here. Then you have this management utilities, computational utilities, something that you would like to do with raster. And then you can do things with GUI tools, temporal data sets, time series data sets, databases, 3D rasters, imageries, and vectors. Let me tell you that GRAS GIS has some of the most in demand in the research community or in the professional community functions that it offers. For that matter, it's a very good utility to be using for raster processing. It has never disappointed me so far. So you could actually do some very good LiDAR data analysis, and that's very unique. Uh, I mean, not many software offer you that. Then you have image classification options, and you have some very good image classification functions already. You have filtering. So this is like for the raster. And these kind of raster analysis are done in advanced or beginners at some point, but advanced remote sensing courses. When you're working on vectors, you can actually do some vector processing with it. And the vector processing utilities are good as well. So you could probably at your in your free time explore these functionalities and see what can be done. Uh, and I mean, obviously, we are going to explore some of them as well. When you're working on a Linux environment, however, and there's a few other things, by the way. So at the top, if you look at it, you have this new workspace, existing workspace, open option, save workspace option. You have the possibility of starting a new map display. So you have map display 1 and you have map display 2 if you would like to work on several things at the same time. You have a raster calculator and a backus-like looking function. So if you need to do some calculations on your raster images, you have a georectifier if you would like to assign georeferencing. Uh, if you would like to program in Python, or if you would like to run a script, you could do that here. And you can change the GUI settings as well. Uh, I mean, don't really need to do that right now. Here you have a command line console. So if you would like to r dot vector v dot raster maybe dot stats, it's a function that we have. So if you remember the software functions by name, you could probably then type those functions and see what it can do for you. So this is one function that I remembered, and it actually showed me what this function can do. There are many functions that you can find on the GRAS GIS website that it performs. So if I would like to GRAS GIS commands list. So this is the sort of, this is a developer reference or a general reference, and you can actually find all of them here. And there's quite a few of them. I mean, when you're working on a given task, there are times when you have to go about exploring them. So, and then there's a Python console as well. Python is a prototyping language, but somehow in the modern GIS field, it has been able to find a lot of space and respect and regard. It does a lot of things for you and for everyone else. And sometimes you can work without installing a given software, only with your Python libraries, whatever GIS tasks you would like to do. Back in the days, people would use Perl as well with Grass. People were using shell scripts with Grass as well. This is the Linux commands, but now obviously Python has somehow become more mainstream in the GIS field. So this is when you're working on the Windows QGIS. There are these some options at the top. You're going to explore these options for a good 4 or 5 sessions. So that should not be an issue. When I'm working on my virtual machine here the GRASS GIS software is slightly different. So I'll go to the desktop GIS and I click on GRASS GIS. It will open the software for me, but it looks different. So there's a separate window here. There's a separate window in which I can see my map. And then there's a command line utility here as well. I'll clear the clutter here, but what it does is it would actually give me everything separately here. Doesn't really matter. I mean, if you ask me, it is perfectly fine if you have this setup or that Windows-based setup. It is the same thing that it does. I have these maps, so I could probably just click and open. I have the list function at the bottom here. So it looks a little different than that function, but that is again fine. I have the tools here, so I could probably work with the data import, the management, computation region for my data. This is one very interesting feature of GRASS. Then we have the raster processing. Then we have the vector processing functions, the imagery or image analysis functions, that is for remote sensing and photogrammetry process. Then we have 3D rasters, databases, temporal data management, and GUI tools. Then again, like we had the console, so I have the console here as well. It autofills for me, so that's a good thing. I typed a command, it gave me what it would do. I asked for the help on that command, so that's why it printed the help. And then there's the Python console as well. The console at the top remains the same. There's no serious kind of complexity here. And you could work with your data set. Again, one thing, if you would like to have a simple separate Python editor, so it opens this Python editor for me separately. The good thing about this Python editor is that everything is color coded, so you will not have many issues typing your Python code in here. If I would like to download sample data here as well, it can do that for me as well. I could probably download the spearfish location data set and it will download it for me. And these are some of the main functions of GRASS as a software that you can explore. Additionally, if you are here on the command line on a Linux environment, what you could do is you could type your GRASS commands and it will show you the same thing. Now here I typed g.list.raster. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to list all raster files in my GRASS workspace. And as soon as I clicked, it showed me a list. Don't get intimidated. Don't get scared by this. You will not have to worry much. Right? We try to make it as easy as possible. But this is the raster files in my database, the one that I have opened here with the map display. Yeah. So if I look at it, these are the rasters. So if I confirm the names, one raster basin, elevation, elevation shape, geology, lakes, land use, soils. And this is interesting. I'll type Q and get out of this, and then I'll type vector, and it will list the vectors for me. I'll go again to this, and I'll confirm if I have these vectors. Boundary region, boundary state, hospitals, hospitals here. And then if you talk about schools, then we have schools. So everything in here is the same, zip codes. And this is again a very serious kind of power that QGIS has. So if there's someone who would like to work at a higher level, process a lot of data, do it quickly, GIS is for them. This is one set of functionalities that I think is crucially important with regard to GIS as software. I will end our session for today here. One of the reasons for that is that I don't want to get into advanced functionalities or any other functionalities of GIS for now, unless you have done some work on your own. So I'll share your exercise to do on your learning management system at vectorsense.com.pk. And maybe later on, we can sort of continue with exploring and doing more things with our GIS software. As long as QGIS is concerned, that is easy, simple, and basic. GIS is slightly complicated. I'll open the mics for you now, and I'll take your questions, and I'll shut down my, no, probably I'll not shut it down, but I'll just open your mics and take your questions if there are any.
Hello.
Hello.
I mean, regarding the QGIS software, I thought it was integrated with GrassGIS, but now I'm seeing that you have to download GrassGIS separately. Am I correct?
No, it is already downloaded. When you install the OSGeo for Windows, it is already downloaded. These are two different software, but they are already downloaded on your system.
Okay, so does that mean if I have already installed QGIS, does it mean if I search grass on my system, it will open?
If you have installed it using OSGeo for Windows, are you working on Windows?
Yes.
So did you install it using OSGeo for Windows? Let me show you. Did you install it with this? Did you install it using this thing?
No.
You separately downloaded it?
I separately downloaded QGIS using the OSGeo Live.
Okay. Okay, so you just downloaded the QGIS.
Yes.
You have not installed this thing. So you can download and install it. It is not going to create many problems. So there's a Windows icon here, and you have a Mac icon as well. So just click and it will download and you can install it. You can install it.
I want to confirm, I was trying to install it and my computer says it's from an unknown publisher. So I was skeptical.
No, usually it should install. I mean, there's a standalone installer.
Yeah.
So depends if you have 32-bit Windows or 64-bit Windows. That would be a bit of an issue. If you have a 32-bit Windows, you can download this thing, the one that's showing on the screen right now.
Okay.
And with this, it will work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Question, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So if we download OSGeo, it will contain grass. Am I right?
Yes, it will contain graphs.
Okay, thank you.
You are. Okay, so I'll stop now, and I'll just ask you to go on your lms.vectorsense website and check for the assignments and the videos. And I would like you to try your hands at them so that if you have problems, we can discuss it early instead of having problems at a later stage. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.